What's going on, everybody? I know this is like a very unexpected live from me right now because usually I would definitely not go live this late. But I figure since it's New Year's, I'm figure a lot of people are probably up. I'll understand if it's not a lot of people that's in the chat right now. But I said I wanted to come on here and talk about and do this particular stream. But first, before I get into it, Happy New Year to everybody who's coming in right now. I probably won't be on here for 10 minutes. It's really an impromptu stream, but it's something I wanted to talk about because it's something I feel I should have talked about a couple months ago. But I really didn't have all the confirmation at the time until just a couple minutes ago. And I said, let me go ahead and talk about it now because I didn't want to talk about it during the live stream that I have later on today because I felt it wouldn't have been appropriate to talk about it then. But shout out to everybody that's coming in. And again, happy new year to everybody that's coming in. But this is going to be a very short stream. I'm not going to be on here for too long. I just wanted to come on here and get my point across. I'll understand if it's nobody in here like that, and they'll just have to catch the replay because I'll leave it up so people can understand where it is that I'm coming from. But shout out to everybody that's in here. So let me just go ahead and get into it. A couple months ago, as y'all know, in October, I went away for my homecoming. At that time, I was down in South Carolina with, friends and, close associates, people I went to college with and all of that good stuff. So I was really kind of off social media. Of course, I was still uploading the videos because I had them scheduled to upload and premiere and whatnot. But I wasn't really active like that. And the weekend that I went down for my homecoming was the last weekend in October. So it was like from like the 26th through the 29th or something like that. And everything is fine and all of that good stuff. And then I come back home. Then I get a message from Janesta, who is ironically in the chat right now. I get a message from Janesta and she says, Torian, I was just messaging you because I heard this rumor. And usually when you hear something like that, it's not something you really want to hear. And I'm sitting here saying to myself, oh God, I'm thinking somebody done said something about me. That's the first thing that will come to mind. But it turns out it was not about me. She said, have you heard from Sean from the Shy lately? And I said, no. Now, for those of you who are unaware, Sean from the Shy is one of my day one subscribers. She definitely was a huge contributor to the channel, whether financially or whenever she came up to give her words of wisdom. People always look forward to her coming up, speaking about, whatever was going on in her life or contributing to the topic at hand, especially when it came to Freestyle Fridays. But I had noticed that we hadn't seen or heard from her in a little bit, like in a little while, like the last couple of weeks by that time. But, I didn't think nothing of it. I thought maybe it was just a thing. She was just away, maybe because she was getting ready to get back into the schooling thing because she worked in the school system. It was around that time. And she said that she had heard a rumor that she had passed. And I was like, no, I did not hear that. I didn't hear anything about that. And then I said, I'll reach out to Afro Elite because he lives in Chicago, just like she does. And I reached out to him because I have his number and I text him. And I said, Afro, I said, did you hear about what happened with Sean from the Shy? I said, have you heard from her lately? He was like, no, because she would go to his channel too. Like she frequented a lot of people in the New Black Media. He said he hadn't heard from her for a little bit too. So at that point, my antenna start to raise a little bit, but I still don't think nothing of it because I don't want to put anything out there and it's not true. And I didn't speak on it because I didn't hear anything. I never heard anyone say anything about it or whatever the case may be for the last couple of months. But then, we never saw her. We never heard from her. She would always pop up in the chat. She was usually one of the first people to greet us and all of that good stuff. So then a couple minutes ago, I said, what? For some reason, she just kind of came to mind. You know how sometimes, someone just randomly pops up in your head. So I typed her name into Google and I came across this YouTube channel. Hold on, let me see if I can find it right quick. The name of the channel is called Growth Talk with Kofa, and they posted a stream that they did about 2 months ago on October the 30th. So it lines right up with the DM that Janesta sent me the next day on the 31st, which was Halloween. And sure enough, I looked at that video, I looked at that stream, and I'm still looking at it right now. And the person who was speaking said that he found out that day or around that time that Sean from the Shy had actually passed away. And I noticed that I remember when she was telling us that she was having like some medical issues or something like that. I think like, with her hip or something like that. And it turns out that she had called him and told him that she had cancer. And it was pretty much confirmed from her daughter, because I think she had a couple of children. I know she had a son, because I know she used to always talk about her son. And I think the thing that that probably angers me the most is that I felt like I should have spoken about this sooner. And now that I know, I'm kind of like I said, I'm upset with myself a little bit, because this was a person who contributed so much to my channel. She was a huge supporter. And she definitely brought a certain type of energy to the channel, to the space, to the new Black media as a whole. I used to always look forward to her coming up and talking, to us and giving us words of wisdom, especially for someone who's from her generation. Because a lot of people from her generation have a certain mindset that, a lot of us kind of shun. But she was very different. She was very on code. I remember saying that I forgot when it was. I forgot what month it was. I said, one of these days, I'm going to come to Chicago and meet you. And now knowing that's not going to be able to happen, man, I can't even get my words out right now. And like I said, this was a person I never met. Only knew her through my channel. But when she spoke and how we would have conversations, it felt like I knew her for a long time. I really felt like she was an actual blood relative. I could have conversations with her that I couldn't even have with some of my own relatives. She used to be on my channel. She would go over to Afro Elite's channel. She would be on Kid Gravity's channel. I think she would be on Blacklight's channel. And man, like I said, I did not mean to want to come on here at this time on this day and do this, but I said I had to do it separately from the stream that I'm doing later on, because it just wouldn't be appropriate for me to talk about who I'm going to talk about later on today and then have to incorporate this into that. But yeah, she used to always make her presence be known in the chat. She was a mod on my channel. And I remember when I used to have like full-blown panels, so having multiple people up at a time when I was doing the Freestyle Fridays, she would come up and talk. And I remember her and Spidey would always, have like these conversations. Like, he loved picking her brain. I don't know where Spidey is at right now, but I'm sure if he's going to watch this later on, he's probably going to definitely feel a type of way about it. That was like his second partner in crime when it came to those particular streams, because he loved to pick her brain. But definitely rest in peace to her. I definitely offer my condolences to her family, her friends, anybody that she, work with, anybody close to her. And even though that I didn't get a chance to formally meet her, I felt her energy. I felt like I've known her a lifetime. And if anyone is unaware, all you got to do is go look at some of my Freestyle Fridays from maybe September or maybe August on back. And then you'll understand the type of person that she was just through the screen. Because that's the type of person that she was. She radiated that type of aura about herself. And shout out to Cat PY2 for the super chat. He said, my condolences to her friends and family. We were always cool. Rest in peace, Sister Sean. Right, exactly. Definitely. Because like I said, I will always see her in the chat. And when I stopped seeing her, I was like, maybe she just like kind of stepped away from social media for a while, but then I got my confirmation a few minutes ago. And like I said, you just never know what a subscriber can bring to your channel, like what kind of impact they can bring. And she definitely was one of the real ones. But yeah, that's really all I wanted to come on here and do. Like I said, I didn't want to be on here all night. I just wanted to come on here and say what I had to say about her. Of course, if y'all are listening and watching the playback, y'all can leave your comments down below. Any trolls will definitely be blocked. But with that being said, I'm going to talk to you all later on. Of course, I have the 11 a.m. video that'll be up in a couple of hours, and then I'll be doing the 12 p.m. Eastern time stream as well. And y'all enjoy the rest of the evening. Be safe out there, and good night.